I remember the first time I told my family I wanted to become an urban forensic botanist. The room fell silent, then erupted into laughter. My father scoffed. "You're kidding, right, botanist? That's what you want to do with your life? Come on, son, grow up." My mother shook her head quietly, her eyes filled with disappointment, and my siblings echoed in unison. "That's so useless. No one will take you seriously. You're just wasting your time." They didn't even bother hiding their contempt. Every word was a dagger, every sneer a reminder that I was an embarrassment, a dreamer clinging to a pipe dream. I was just 22, full of fire and conviction. I knew what I was chasing was rare, an uncharted path that combined science, justice, and a passion for nature's hidden truths. I wanted to unravel mysteries through plants, tracing crime scenes, uncovering drug trafficking routes, exposing environmental crimes. But to them, it was absurd. "You're not a detective," they said. "You're not even practical. You'll fail, and everyone will see you for the fool you are." That failure ignited something fierce inside me, a stubborn refusal to be crushed. I left the academic world behind and dove headlong into urban forensic botany, a field mocked as impractical, even ridiculous. "Who needs plants to solve crimes?" people sneered. "That's just a fancy hobby, not science." But I saw potential where others saw folly. I started small, analyzing soil traces, identifying plant residues at crime scenes, connecting clues invisible to the naked eye. It was lonely work, hours in abandoned alleyways deciphering the language of roots and leaves, fighting skepticism at every turn. But I persisted. Bit by bit, I built my reputation. I developed techniques that exposed environmental crimes, illegal dumping, drug hideouts, arson arrestees leaving botanical evidence behind. And then something extraordinary happened. It was 5 years after I left my previous life behind, and I had become known in law enforcement circles. My work had cracked cases that had stumped traditional investigators. I turned barren urban lands, sites of illegal dumping and neglect, into lush, thriving ecosystems. I transformed concrete jungles into vibrant green sanctuaries. My reputation grew, and so did my confidence. I had finally proven that this ridiculous field was vital, that my passion was valid. But the real breakthrough came when I was invited back to my hometown for a community project. I was to help restore a neglected park, a patch of land once abandoned and desolate. As I arrived, I saw my family waiting. My father, mother, siblings, eyes wide, faces expectant and wary. They hadn't seen me in years, not since I left with nothing but a suitcase and a dream that they had mocked. Now I carried awards, scientific breakthroughs, and a new sense of... The crowd gathered around as I knelt in the dirt, unearthing a plant I'd cultivated, a medicinal herb I had discovered that could help treat chronic illnesses. I explained how I used plant evidence to solve crimes, to heal communities, to restore ecosystems. I showed them photographs of the barren lands I had turned into thriving habitats. I told stories of how a single seed, a tiny root, could change everything, not just the landscape, but lives. And then I looked up at my family. Their expressions shifted from skepticism to stunned silence. My father's jaw tightened as he watched me walk confidently through the lush greenery I had created. My mother's eyes welled with tears as she saw the tangible fruits of my labor. My siblings, who once ridiculed me, looked on with a mixture of awe and guilt. Suddenly, I knew I had to confront the past directly. I stepped forward, voice steady but filled with emotion. "You all mocked me," I said, voice echoing in the quiet. "Told me I was wasting my time, that I was an embarrassment. You believed I was foolish for chasing something that seemed so impractical. But look at this. Look what I've built. I turned your doubts into dust. I turned failure into a foundation. And I did it by trusting in what I knew was right, even when no one else did." "I was wrong," he admitted, voice thick with emotion. "You were right all along. I was blind to your passion. I'm proud of you." That moment, so raw, so real, became a turning point. The past's wounds began to heal, not just with words, but with tangible proof that dreams rooted in authenticity can flourish, even after the harshest doubts. As I left that day, I felt a profound sense of closure, not just for myself, but for everyone who ever doubted their own worth because others dismissed them. I realized that resilience, faith in your purpose, and relentless pursuit can turn even the most ridiculed dreams into monumental realities. Now, standing here, surveying the thriving ecosystem I created, I understand something fundamental. Success isn't just about accolades or recognition. It's about reclaiming your truth, defying the noise of skepticism, and proving that the deepest convictions, no matter how absurd they seem, can shape the world. And that, my friends, is the real magic. When you refuse to give up, when you turn derision into determination, and when you nurture your vision through every doubt, you don't just succeed, you transform everything around you. You become proof that no one's mockery can drown out your purpose. You become the living, breathing testament that your dreams, no matter how ridiculous, are the seeds of your greatest triumph.